This one comes in from Stella.
My mother-in-law.
I was just wondering.
That's going to be a really weird answer. So
Stella says, should I be worried that my partner doesn't invite me to stuff? Seriously, anything. She'll go out with her friends, go to weddings, go to parties, and I'm never invited, never asked to go. But I invite her and she's super excited to go. What is going on here? I can't tell if she's ashamed of me or if her friends don't like me. I've only met them in passing, or what the deal is, but I'm at a loss here. So this is a tough one because I think a lot of this comes down to context and the conversations that you've had. Because I think there's, if I were to guess, there's one of two things happening. Either A, something was said at some point where she got the distinct impression that you didn't want to go to the stuff like that. Maybe you're an introvert, you're like a homebody, you don't really like going to do those things. Maybe you have social concerns, or maybe you've given the impression that you don't like her friends or something along those lines, to where she's gotten the impression that like you don't want to go, and it's just stuck in her brain. And so she doesn't bother because she doesn't want to, put that on you. She doesn't want to make you feel like you need to go do something you don't want to do. I've actually had friends with where that happened before. Like, she never got invited, and he was just like, what the fuck do you mean? You told me you didn't want to do that kind of stuff. And so I just didn't invite you because I knew you wouldn't want to go, but I wanted to go and I knew you would want me to go. So that's one scenario. The other scenario, I don't know what the negative side of it is, but I think it would be truly fucked up if it's just like, yeah, she doesn't want you to go there. She wants to go and do her own thing. There's some kind of something happening where she's being shady and, stepping out on you, or doesn't want you to be around her friends or whatever. I'm not really sure, but to me, both of those things seem plausible. I would lean heavily onto there was something said to where she's like, oh, I don't think that she wants to go, So I would say maybe just talk to her, and do it in a really gentle way. It's not a confrontational thing. It's just hey, I have a question for you and I just want to know where you're at on this. I'm not upset with you. I just want to know, you don't invite me to stuff. You go to weddings, you go to parties, you never invite me. And I'm just curious why that is. Is it, do you not want me to go? Are these like, things where it's like friends only without partners? Like what's the situation? I'd love to know where your head is at. And I think start that dialogue there. And hopefully if she's a good partner, she will open up to you and be able to share with you her reasoning. She might also, I talk about this with guys a lot, but she might also just not even realize that that's happening. It sounds really stupid. It sounds so dumb, but like I could see myself in her shoes, like not even say when I'm with somebody, I want them to be a part of all the stuff, but like I could see myself being like, oh, I was invited to a thing, and so I'm going to go to that thing, especially like early on in a relationship. I don't know how long you've been together, but especially early on in a relationship, if somebody invites me to a wedding and I've been dating somebody for like a month, I may or may not want to bring them. I might, I don't know. But like, I could see myself being like, oh, I got a wedding invite. I'm going to go to this wedding. It's going to be fun. And not realize that all this time, my partner wanted to go, or like wanted to be even invited, even if they couldn't go, So that's my thoughts. What do you think, Liam?
So I would echo a lot of what you were saying, like that they might just not be aware that they're not extending that invite to you, or they know they're not extending it, but it's because the times that they have, you've turned them down.
Right.
So they're just in that mindset of like, oh, you don't like to go and do the things, but you're comfortable with me going and doing the things. So I'm just going to go do the things. And or maybe they're like, hey, if they really wanted to go, they would ask. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Say Tim and I are not married anymore. Say Tim and I are just dating each other, right? No, but like, and if I had asked him like, 10 different times, like, oh, hey, I'm going to go to the bar. Do you want to come with me? And he's like, no, I don't really like going to the bar. If I'm going to go to the bar, I'm not going to ask Tim. And because I'm thinking if he wants to go, when I say I'm going to the bar, if he wants to go, he'll go, hey, can I come too? Yeah. And I'm not going to be like, no, you can't go. Only I was invited. I'm going to be like, oh, cool, dude. Yeah, I didn't know that you would want to go. So that's awesome if you want to. Let's go. So they may be waiting for you
Yep.
to speak up and say, hey, I'd like to go to that. So I think that's where that would probably be where I sit with it is they've asked you a couple of times now, gotten the negative response, and it's just like, well, if they really want to go, they'll speak up. Now, you mentioned partner, and this was a Stella, so I'm going to guess that they're lesbians. They're probably cheating on you.
Or queer in some way.
Or queer, because like every lesbian couple I know cheats. So you're fucked. Like they're definitely not inviting you because they're getting some different pussy.
You've just been canceled, by the way.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine if that was... Oh my gosh. No, I honestly, I don't think it would be anything nefarious because that almost feels like too blatant. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I'm going to go out and do all these things and just never invite you. Like that, I feel like that would just breed conflict between the two of you. So I really wouldn't lean into like the cheating or like anything being nefarious. I really just think it's more of like they've probably asked you before and you turned it down, so they're waiting for you to speak up, or they're just super ignorant and like don't even know, like they don't realize that they're like not extending that invitation or that you feel a certain way about it. So I, like Tim said, be gentle, just bring it up, be like, hey, is there any particular reason like that you didn't ask if I wanted to go too, and then just see what their response is.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because I also lean towards it's probably not something like bad or mean or whatever, you know, like I would guess that that's not the case, but I also have been accused many times of seeing things with rose-tinted glasses. So like so much of the time I'll be like in a relationship and people around me are pointing out things and I'm like, no, what do you mean? Here's the justification for that. And then it turns out, yeah, it was exactly that all along. 'Cause I do tend to like see people in like a generous light a lot of the time. So that's why I'm like, okay, I think it's probably some kind of a lack of or like a weird miscommunication or something along those lines. But also don't rule out the other possibility. Like be mildly, just a tiny, tiny bit on alert, but don't let that run away from you. Because that's one of the things that I can do is if I think something bad is happening, I can turn that into hell. I can absolutely, like Brittany and I are the same. We can turn something that seems like it's bad into an absolute nightmare. So don't do that. Like, don't just assume, Stella, that your partner is like, you know, stepping out on you and like fucking everybody at every wedding and party she goes to. Don't assume that. Understand that, like, I guess it's possible that something bad could be happening, but assume that there's a miscommunication, that she didn't know you wanted to be invited, that she's waiting for you, like Liam said. I didn't even think about that. That, like, she wants you to be like, hey, I'd love to go, you know? Yeah, assume that. Have the conversation. Do it with love. Do it with calmness. Don't, you know, go bananas, and just have a conversation, and hopefully you'll get the answers you're looking for.
I always wondered if you were like red-green colorblind, so you can't see red flags because you just see them all as gray or whatever. So
yeah, no, I'm allergic to red flags. I can't see them. That or I'm super drawn to them. I do love some red flags.
Yeah, you really do. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I love playing the red flag or deal breaker game because I'm always like, that's not a big deal. That's not even a red flag. I'm like, that's a gray flag. It's fine.
That's true. Oh, they're sleeping with 7 other people while telling me that they love me? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
while we're trying to be monogamous? 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'll do that with Sarah and Adam, and like Sarah will just be like, not only is it a deal breaker, but also I'm calling the authorities. And I'm like, it's okay.
It could be worse.
Yeah. I hope that helps, Stella. Good luck. And also give, Brittany a hug for us all. So, or it's Stella from How I Met Your Mother. I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But she didn't ask about karate dads, so I don't know.